You're right. Hello, Lewis. How are you? You doing well? Praise the soon. Or what have you. It is time for another stream, and let's put on music for the background of this stream because it is a chill drawing stream. So as usual, I'm gonna go for my Louis Jong playlist, because why not? Not a great day, oh no. But hanging in there, so Paladin makes things better. Smite! Yes, we are continuing with the Paladin. We're continuing with Paladin. Where are we? We are here, yes. Swoosh. So for anybody who may not be aware, yesterday morning, was that yesterday? Yes, it was. The problem is I gauge days based on when I stream, and now I've started streaming more. Started streaming in mornings. The days are all out of whack. So yeah, yesterday morning we started work on this. This was randomly picked from my list of potential things to draw. And this is the Paladin from the Ico, the game What Is In My Brain. And they are here to smite the evil and the wicked. Which, as far as they're concerned, includes the main characters of the game, because they look weird. And there's not really any room for, you know, talking when it comes to the Paladin. Tips helmet, Paladin. Yeah, and this is the sort of design we came up with. Big, floofy, shiny, holy, etc. Yeah, and having looked at it, there's a few things I would shift around a little bit, but that's what we're here for. It's always good to come back with some fresh eyes. So these gloves look a bit strange. And I still don't get the perspective on the shield. It's fine, don't worry. Yeah, so I'm just going to carry on with this, because why not? You simply cannot stop me. But you probably could, but let's not take it that far. Yeah, this shield's just a bit of a mess, really, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm imagining it is being tilted slightly to the side, but whether that's properly reflected in the image, I don't know. It's fine. And then with these, we can have these slightly less extreme to begin with, and then they get more fluted as they go out. We have this, sort of like a big old thumb guard thing. Again, this was the other thing I sort of mentioned during this time, is I don't know how armor works. Anyone know how armor works? I don't. I'm just sort of making it up as I go. So yeah, just carrying on with this. I also briefly made a 3D shape in Blender for the helmet because I tried drawing it by hand and it just didn't look right, so that's fine. Shouldn't have to do that for anything else. Or maybe the shield if it keeps being like this, but I think I probably have a good way to sort that out. This arm doesn't look fantastically correct. Might have something to do with these parts here because they're slightly bendy. And I'm gonna have to deal with the fact that the actual perspective is sort of disguised behind the strange shapes on offer. That's no problem. So yeah, the last thing we did on with the Ico, or the only other thing we've done on the Ico, I think, were the handmaidens, and they were pretty grim in their design and execution. So it's kind of nice to have something quite silly. It's probably one of the silliest things in the design of the game, but wouldn't want to be, or at least that I have so far. Now that I've started doing these things, maybe I can come up with some more ideas, because a lot of these ideas are like 5, 6 years old. The Paladin, I think, actually is a relatively recent one. And like this recurring mini boss who sees you as an enemy, and you see him as like, hey, you could help us get out. Like, no, I can't let your evil blight the world. Calm down, pal. The temptation to name them pal is strong, but unfortunately we already have a pal, so. I also like the idea that it's never really specified precisely who he's crusading for, just good in general. Hey, Kiro! How's a Kiro? Speaking of being misguidedly powerful, Kiro. So I was doing Duolingo this morning, and I was alerted, oh, we have a new friend challenge, which is when you have multiple people who are working towards the same thing, and you get prizes if you do it in a certain amount of time. And I was alerted that we have the challenge of, get 90% or more in 45 lessons or whatever it is. And I was like, okay, this is a tough one, but I'm sure we can do it. And it was Kiro. I'm with Kiro doing a friend quest thing. Hey, Miss Hayden. And Christy. Hi. So I was like, oh, brilliant. We're doing a little friend thing with Kiro, and it's cool. And Kiro has already done 10 lessons with 90% or above, so we're well on the way there. So then I did my lessons in the morning, and I got 5. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's good. Like 15. We're 3 days. We should get this done. And when I look back on the thing, Kiro had done 30. In the time it took me to do 5, Kira did an extra 20, on top of the 10 that they'd already done. Kira's smart. I'm sorry for outing you like this, Kira, but you're smart, and it just made me laugh. You're in the Obsidian League, so am I. You don't see me doing that. You're smart. You can't escape this. Also, we got weird music. Anyway, how is a Miss Anna Christie? And Akira, if I haven't already asked. Actually, do I want to like that, or do I want to leave this? That feels more like it. So what do I put here then? Well, I know what I put here. That was what I put here. More crosses! Can't have too many crosses with this character. Cough has subsided a bit. Marvelous. Chilling and being very sleepy. Nice. Oh no, Kira's cough is back. They'll be fine eventually. Fingers crossed. We have the quantity theory of cough here. There is a very specific amount of cough in the world. And as soon as one person loses it, someone else gets it. Excite because important hospital appointment. Ooh. Well, hopefully it is useful and or informative. One of these days you need to get back to Duolingo. Well, we're all in it, apparently. Doing things. Hacker cough? Oh no! I'm getting into Kira's mainframe. No. You with that there, Bear, for the challenge? Got to earn 1,450 XP. You can do it, I believe in you. Bear's been doing a lot, actually, as well. Keep getting things of like, Bear's got this amount of XP, and Bear's learned this many words, and Bear's been doing loads. Neat. Don't have to worry about a weather warning that's going to be here today. A red flag warning. Oh, no. Increased risk of brush fires. Again, I in my head you live perpetually in snow, so that just confuses me. It'll be fine. Today, today started off nice and calm and sunny and blue skies and everything's grand. And then it being spring, it sort of jumped between that and rainy. It being a proper spring, first one we've had for like 4 years. But now it's just like incredibly high winds and lots of rain. So, we've run the gamut today, I feel. Let's get into Duolingo. Find your friends was been so you got all Blair. I befriended you, I think, on the thing. I think I'm friends with you, or I'm following you. I don't know. I think we both need to follow in order to be friends. So, Bert's been traveling to Australia the past 2 days, so I had time to kill. I think even before that. I mean, still, there's a good opportunity to do things. Traveling to different countries and all that. Got all 4 seasons, how day. It snowed there? Oh, it snowed where misses. The mountains are white again. Lovely. Good for the business and stuff. I don't really want to sit here and work out how all this works right now, but that's fine. And I'm probably going to change it based on... Do you know what I should do? Do you know what I should do? Let's be sensible about this. Okay. Imagine this is a just big solid shield. It's going to lean like that, and on the floor it would be like that. So up a bit, and up here it would be something like that. Okay, so if it were just like a big sort of solid tower shield, it would look like that. And then from there we can get ourselves some contours to work out how this thing's actually going to bloody look. Clearly the summers that can go over 40 degrees, yeah. I know you mentioned that. You can lurk because you can't chat on Switch and you need your iPad's draws. Do those good Christie draws. Have a good look. And since a bunch of people have just arrived, just as a reminder of what we're doing here, this is something I started yesterday morning because I've started doing morning streams. This is the Paladin. From the iCode little game that What's in My Brain that I'm doing concept art for, and this is a silly character who wants to smite the evil in the tower. And all of the main characters, all the playable characters in the game, resemble what in these games would normally look like enemies. So he looks upon the characters and goes, "Aha, evil! I will smite thee!" Because he's an idiot. He's a dummy who's trying to do good, exactly. Right, so where's the sort of midpoint of this? Like there? Probably. Actually, hang on, let's do a little perspective tricks. There's the midpoint. And this, presumably... Yeah, there's not really a great deal. This is sort of a recurring comic relief boss. And I want to do some fun concept art for them. Obviously, this scene here, close up of the sword hilt and this helmet. I might do various designs for the helmet because I forgot to include the wings. But we can do various like design passes for the wings. I don't usually iterate on a design, and I probably should more. I've also realised that's not really quite central, so that's fine. Because this is in perspective, isn't it? So we're going to have to be a little more canny with our geometry, because it would curve around like that. And that would be what it's like, so that's probably the centre there. But actually we want the centre to be roughly there. So it doesn't go around all that way, it goes around something like that.
I can't open it. Damn. Man, looks like I'm stuck. I might as well check this place out.
This is a jib. This is a jib. What is here? Yeah, no, that's fine because that would go through and then meet at the back there for the back of sort of full cylinder, as it were. So yeah, we don't really want that just to get the center there, and then that'll be roughly flat, presumably. Hi, it is you. You are here. Glad you're here. Yes. Important times. Oh, it's down there apparently. That doesn't seem right, does it? Probably some perspective shenanigans I haven't bothered thinking about. That's fine. Something like that, something like this. And that's the way it is. Huh. Would Blender help? Yes. But I can't keep using Blender. Alright, so we've sort of got the shield curving around the side there, which I don't have in this picture, but that's fine. So let's budge all this along slightly. Well, I'm going to try and fudge it to look how it probably should in this first, before I try and redraw everything. It's nice to have that sort of clear perspective on things. I don't think it would curve around, actually. I think it pretty much just stops there. Bit big. That's a bit big, that is. I have no memory of that quote. Any tool that helps is there to be used. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the liquid tool recently. It's very helpful. They're just sort of nudging things in the right direction. I used to have a slight vendetta against this tool because it was used almost exclusively to make really annoying thumbnails on YouTube. Where people's eyes were massive. Which I took the mick out of in the Hitman 1 highlights. With Diana with massive eyes. Cannot believe nobody told you Izzy Hands was in Dark Souls. By anybody you mean Crispy? I didn't know that your character was in Elden Ring. I didn't know they took an Elden Ring character and put it in a pirate show. He said, Colonel was in this. You were invested. Check out this video. Shows static picture of a jaguar and the big Diana face. I wouldn't mind, but this is just a sketch for what will be a painting, so... You know, classic good use of time. I think that helped. Not perfect, but it's closer. Watch the show! Watch the show! He just put Elden Ring for Izzy Hands and for Wife. Who did Izzy Hands play? Don't know Wife's name. All you know from the videos, she's undefeated, and honestly, you support her in everything she does. If you're talking about Millennia, we're gonna have a falling out. Blood Guy? That's not Moog, is it? Moog is Titch, right? Blood Guy doesn't really narrow it down in any of these games. Oh, I can't even remember now. What's this? Izzy hands. Yeah, Izzy hands. Blah, 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 blah. No, I don't want the real one. I want the character. Con O'Neill. Something, something, something. Something, something, something. Elden Ring. Oh, we did play Moog. Oh, it was Moog. Okay. And he played Titch then, I guess. It's the only 2 video games he's done. Dark Souls 2 and Elden Ring. For some reason, I thought there was someone else in the video. It was Moog, yeah. But yes, we will see Moog, and we will hear Moog shout, "Nihil!" quite a lot, so don't worry about that. Yeah, little guy, Titch. Titchy weird person. After the boss from Dark Souls 2 who should not be named or drawn. Fight me over wife, she's correct and right. Honestly, one of my main issues with that character is that it isn't really a character. She deserved, like, more. Most of her dialogue is just like, this is my name and this is my brother. Basically it. And by this is my brother, I mean, my brother got kidnapped by Moog, actually. Izzy Hands stole wife's brother. Spoilers for Elden Ring, I guess. Right, let's get back to this. If you don't know what we're talking about, there's a video that Miss posted in the Discord of, it was Outside Xbox, I believe, illustrating some of the voice actors from Elden Ring and where other games that they have appeared in as voice actors. And Miss is interested because there is an Our Flag Means Death crossover, and I'm interested because there is a Dark Souls 2 crossover. Interestingly, the one I did know, outside Xbox, yeah. The one I did know was Pip Torrens. And this is the really weird thing, because when he's like the first NPC you meet, Vare. And I recognized the voice immediately. I recognized it, and I was like, I know that actor, who is it? And I looked it up, and it was Pip Torrens, and I was like, oh, it's Pip Torrens, I know that name. For the life of me, I can't work out what I know it from, though. I remember looking through the IMDb page and just going, I don't recognize any of these. Why do I know you? So yeah, if anybody knows what else Pip Torrens has been in that I might know, that'd be great. There's not really an awful lot I want to change on the design of this. That should help properly sell the fact that this is actually supposed to be going all the way around.
This crate is blocking the door.
Chib's already here. Sometimes you just know a person. Yeah. Chib's already here. Why aren't you playing War Tales? Go dark today. Oh. He was in Midsummer Murders. Everyone's in Midsummer Murders. Bill Bailey's been in Midsummer Murders. If you're an actor in Britain, you've been in Midsummer Murders. You've been in Midsummer Murders, or Doctor Who, or Holby City, or The Bill. Probably multiple of those. Any more for any more? No, this needs to be shapes need to be bolder. Less fiddle on these things. So we could do like one that goes halfway up like this. Then another one that goes there. Then another one that does the big final. Because I feel like that would be slightly better. My perspective circle drawing is bad, but hopefully the idea is sound. Either that or do this the other way around, where they get longer as they go out. Well, that might work. Wrist mobility is a bit of a problem, but... all part of the sacrifice of being a paladin! It's also the curator in the Dark Pictures games. Yes, I remember them saying that, but I interestingly didn't recognize his voice from that. So. You have a picture game? Are they good? I've heard mixed things. There's also in Poirot, again, that's one of those ones. Every British actor's been in a Poirot, a Miss Marple. Yeah, probably one of the two. Paladins don't need wrists to smite. Wrists are for sleight of hand and other dark arts. Just anything that confuses them is a dark art. Twitch? What? This is not on my end. This is a Twitch one. All art is dark if you leave the lights off. They've probably got some sort of mesh by the eyes that makes it really dark in the helmet. And they just assume everywhere they go for combat it's really dark. Did you see Tomorrow Never Dies? I don't know if you've seen many Bond films. Anyway, he's in that too. I have never seen a Bond film. It's all fuzzy your end. That's weird. I'm giving off a normal stream.
I am all art with the lights off.
Aha. I like that. It's still not enough. It needs to be. Do we just go like?
I won't be able to force my way through these doors.
Oh no. Go all the way up the arm. I feel like that's probably a better way of doing this. Again, sort of strong, solid shapes rather than small, fiddly bits.
I can't open it. The handle's been taken off.
Okay, Twitch? What? Who? What's happening?
Jammed.
It's locked.
You're helping.
I can't open it. The handle's been taken off.
Which one are we talking about? Hang on, I can bring up the Parsnips. Yeah, Jack is... Even though I have added 3 more games, Jack is by far still the largest proportion of this locked command. Stream snips, right? Was that one? E. There you go. There's Patrick Snip. Pat Snip. You don't get to see it for long for obvious reasons. And the other ones available are the horrifying Parsnip. And the newly added where is it? Grim Fandansnip. We've now heard both of the Grim Fandango Easter eggs. I'm sorry, miss. We were waiting for you for Twitch to sort itself out. I drew this for you. To ashes, to ashes, to ashes. Delete your art, everyone. Yeah, this feels... In fact, I'm just going to say sod it, and that's just going to be the arm. Big old fluted armor. Wickedy wickedy boo. We all good? Is Twitch to calm down? None of this was on my end, this was all Twitch. Wartail's update, very good. Runs better, more hair and beards. Many improvements. Those are all the improvements, and I'm happy with it. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you're glad. Presumably at some point we will play it together again, and it'll be good. I know Christy plays it a lot, so hopefully Christy enjoys. You should play with Christy at some point. Why can't you play 5 players? Ah, games. And then the new Dead Island's coming out, and that's only 3 players. Not good enough, you know. He says working on a 2-player game. That's chess, so I didn't make those rules. I wanna play with friends. Why is this so much of an issue? And Portal 2's only 2-player, although I'm not entirely sure who else would want to play a game in Dutch. I think I'll just leave that there for the moment. The big change I wanted to make here was I wanted to make these bigger. Again, liquefy, real useful. That looks better. This one's slightly tricky because I've got to try and adhere to the contour. Adhere to the contour, everybody. Remember to adhere to your contours. Otherwise, you could face a £200 fine. Contact your local contour adherer today. Miss, how dare you? There's a chunky sound effect with red trails when you quit now, so it feels more impactful. Nice. In all fairness, 3 players is just weird, especially when the previous 2 games were 4 players. Exactly. Why? Underestimate how much you love Portal, and Portal 2. Language does not matter. Is there a mod for 3 players? That would be fun. to try and play a game where we do it in Dutch, and it's like Jib, first language Dutch. Me, I've been learning for 130 days or whatever, and then somebody who knows no Dutch at all. Try and do that kind of communication. Patch this up a bit. Liquify, unfortunately, is not that precise. How dare you, humans? Gonna do the dishes, everyone behave. Good luck! Wasn't the video about learning how to contour with makeup? No. Contouring 101. It's old. Are they literally drawing like contour marks on their face? That'd be fun. End up looking like an ordnance survey map. I should not be focusing on details like this. This is a sketch for a painting. Right, okay, sword. So, first of all, we have whatever's going on with the handle. First of all, we have auto-saving. There's the one where it's like, if the men know we can shapeshift, they're going to call the church. Shared in the Patreon server, nice. Have a watch once stream is over. Let me know. I, meanwhile, will be grappling with shapes. At some point, we're going to swap over to doing a painting. We'll probably try and paint the main thing first, and then go into more detailed view thereafter. Had a voice many times before, but didn't know where it was from. Hey! Hurry for finding internet sources. Memes usually come from a thing. And it's nice to know. This feels like a massive structural weakness, but hey, what are you gonna do? The sound clip was in all YouTube shorts you watched a while ago? Now it's just the cheese tax song. Everywhere you go, it's the cheese tax song. Sure. Sometimes I think you're making things up to confuse me. But then I remember this is the internet, and no, that's entirely plausible. Ellipses, circles in perspective. Help! Don't mind that scratchy sound, that's just all the holes in the protective cover of my drawing tablet.
The cheese tax, the cheese tax. You've got to pay the cheese tax. Every time you're cooking. When the cheese comes out, this puppy comes looking. The rules are the rules. And the facts are the facts. And when the cheese drawer opens, you've got to pay the tax.
Okay. Good to know. People playing that song and feeding their dogs cheese. I mean, to be fair, that seems applicable to Kiki, so... There's an incredibly over-engineered way to do this, but... People do it with their cats as well. Nice. Give Kiki good food. Can't give Kiki too much. She has a very sensitive stomach. But she does like cheese, so... She gets a little bit. Unfortunately, in this household, the definition of a little bit fluctuates from person to person. For me, it's a little bit. For others, it's what would be a little bit for a human. And she's a cat. Oh, look at the little pupper. What a song stuck in your head for the next 14 days. Kind of tempted just to not listen to it, because, you know, I've gone this far without listening to, like, Baby Shark and stuff, so... And that Fox song. Really cute. Okay then. The last time I listened to a song you recommended to me, I had it stuck in my head even though I didn't know what the words meant. There's outside Atlanta, hidden the over. No one should listen to Baby Shark. Well, I haven't. So, hooray! I'm no one? What? Not sure that's how that works. On a real thick blade going on here. Real thick blade hours. That is thoroughly wonky. So long as all the lines are themselves parallel, we should be able to fix it. Not annoying, but you do find yourself singing the cheese tax to yourself. That's fair. Earworms be earworms, regardless of sauce. Yeah, I think I do need a contrast of scale between the ones in the middle and the ones on top. So, or sorry, ones in the middle and ones on the side. Oh, I have, and this is interesting primarily to me. I finally finished watching Inside Number 9. Or at least the amount of Inside Number 9 that has been released, because a new series is coming this year, the first episode of which was a Christmas special broadcast last Christmas. So I watched the first episode of that series because the rest isn't out yet. But it's good. I like it. They still got cool ideas going on. I still think my favourite of the batch I watched, which was the last two series, was the very first one of the last two series, Wuthering Heist. The Commedia dell'arte / heist movie. Because it was simultaneously gritty heist movie and very silly pantomime. So the contrast between those two things is interesting. Sounds very fun. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily describe Inside Number 9 as fun. I went that episode. Oh yeah, that one's fun. Fun in quotation marks. Problem being, okay, so I'm gonna go on the self-indulgent, introspective, introspection. What's the opposite of introspective? Extrospective. As is my thing. You know, as I said in the last video, I am an old child. And when I see something that I like, I think, I want to do that. So obviously my brain's been going, I love episodic stories with twists. Big fan. I can make that better. Introspective introspection. Precisely. And I've been thinking, like, what can I do something like that? Sort of little stories with fun, sort of twisty elements, all of which are kind of not particularly connected, but are sort of not really. Thematically connected, but not literally. And the idea I settled on, that was panic. It was anxiety. It was just to have constant anxiety and then turn that into some sort of creative output. I think the music's slightly louder in my ears than it is for you. Tell us, go! Ah! Was, as usual for me, outliers, right? Because the outliers, they exist in whatever the hell universe they want to at any given point. Well, not even what they want to, what they, whatever universe they do. But then I thought, because there's a companion podcast to Inside Number 9 called Inside Number 9, which is the two writers of the show chatting about how the show got made, how they came up with the ideas, and then talking to somebody important to the making of it, like the composer or the director or some of the actors or whatever. And I would watch an episode and then listen to the podcast, and I kind of alternate like that. And it's kind of nice to sort of do that. But one thing I sort of really like but envy in that sort of scenario is that it's the two of them. They've been writing stuff since they were at university, and that's many years ago now. And I've always quite wanted that kind of writing partnership thing. And then I remembered, not too long ago, and by not too long ago I mean probably a year ago, Cheeb and I had a little chat about an idea for doing a story of the Outliers set in ancient Rome. Because Cheeb is a qualified historian, don't you know? And I know bugger all about history, but I thought it'd be fun to sort of come up with ideas. Yeah. So then I thought, ooh, could that be a thing? Not just that, but could I like do a thing where like, hey, if anyone wants to be involved, just write a bunch of Outliers stories, each with a different person, and then see sort of what comes out based on the tastes of that person, you know? So we do, like, if they want to do it, do one with Kiro, do one with Mist, do one with Duck, whatever. I think that'll be fun. I probably won't make half of them because time. But I think it'd be a fun little exercise. I still want to work on that Fall of Rome one. There's ideas that I need an ending. There are a lot of fun set pieces for the Outliers in that, but I need an ending, so. This is a nice idea, but again, it needs to be more prominent. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. That's better. Liquefy. Good times. That's fun. Could be fun. Yeah. So again, this is just literally something I thought of this morning, so I wouldn't put too much stock in it. You know me. I'm always coming up with ideas of things and then abandoning them. But I think it could be fun, even if just a thing to do it now. No, you helped me come up with an ending for the Fall of Rome one. Because I really like the setup, I like the setting. There's some good like stakes to the story. And all that sort of stuff. But anyway, just as a general idea, just like, oh, it would be fun to sort of write with someone else, because then they would bring their own sort of personal preferences to it, they would bring their own perspectives, they would have opinions on my ideas, which is good, because I'm really bad at editing my own ideas. And yeah, I thought it would just be a fun idea. We can talk about it for sure if you want. If you're still up for it. No, that you asked about the Outliers history thing like half a year ago. Was it that long ago? You're up for it. Yeah. And it will be written in Dutch. No. Oh, I forgot about these bits. Helmet, can you budge up a bit? Yeah, like I said, this is just a kind of ooh, what if idea, rather than something I've put any kind of serious thought into. But then in my mind I was like, what would people want to write? Because that's the thing with the Outliers, they could be in anything. It'll end up being silly, but they could be in anything. Could be a heist story, could be a western, could be sci-fi, could be all of the above. Sci-fi heist western. We'll only read things if they're written in Dutch. Fair enough. We can translate it to Gallic for you. And by we, I mean we will pass it to you to be translated into Gallic. When was the last time you said, gosh, I should really do more with the Outliers? It's been 2 years since I did something with them. I think I've been saying that pretty much constantly for the past 6 years, right? I mean, I have been doing things with the Outliers recently. So, more on that soon. Nothing major, just, you know, things. Because they're stupid and I miss them. Twitch now. Sci-fi heist western. I mean, that would be pretty straightforward, right? You got space train, cowboys, laser guns, etc. Got to steal the space gold. It would probably end up feeling quite a lot like Borderlands. But I'm fine to come up with. What if the Outliers are in Borderlands? I quite like this because there's something sort of vaguely sinister about all these spiky bits on the sword. So it looks almost evil, but it comes from the cross motif, so it's symbolic, don't you know? Ah, well. I somehow deleted everything. I don't know how that happened. Apparently it's Friday the 12th of August 2022. That's very specific. When we talked about the fall of Rome Outliers. I'd started doing sketches and things, and I wrote some little scripty ideas. I have ideas for scenes for that in my head. Some funny little set pieces for M. And the group as a whole. So it's going to be a bit sharp. All in the name of whatever the opposite of evil is. Good, I suppose. In the name of all that is holy, I will get someone else to sharpen it, because I'm busy smiting the unholy. No, size doesn't quite match up. It needs to kind of cascade down in a slightly more regular fashion. That's more like it. It needs to come out more. And the handle needs to be longer yet again. The hilt. Where's the hilt? I don't know the names of sword bits. The hand guard thing. I quite like it. Also like the idea that there'll be little decorative bits as you go up. Yeah, I think my brain has been missing having a big project, you know what I mean? It's always like just hopping from thing to thing at the moment, and it's been a long time since I've had just like, this is the big project you're doing. Problem is, the Crisp is like you, a project butterflies, so many ideas just get fitted in between. Yes, exactly. Which bit are we calling the pommel? I'm talking about that. The hand guard. Don't know what it is. Is it a hilt? Pommel? I don't know. Pommel's the thing you jump off in gymnastics, right? But yeah, there's part of me that was tempted to go, right, I'm going to write, you know, a series of these stories, 6 stories, with friends. And then I'm going to just do that. I'm just going to make them. 30 pages each or whatever. Make them into a comic. Each one has their own sort of exaggerated, simplified style to make it slightly easier to, or slightly quicker to do. Just do it. But then I realised that if it's a 30-page comic each and 6 comics, and I do, I don't know, a page every couple of days, then that's a year. Right? It's just a year of solid work to do that. And again, given that I'm doing a lot of other things and also trying to make money, this wouldn't make money, it would just be a personal interest thing. It's also constantly different work. I mean, it's every 2 months it would be different. Which I guess I managed to get through the globally absurd thing, but I also worked on that for a significantly less time. Think of it as 6 projects instead of 1 big one. Yeah. Pommel is the end piece, then the grip is the handle, which leads to the crossguard, rain guard, or chappy. Chapu? Waka and Chapu. The whole bit's called the hilt. Okay, so the pommel's the bit on the bottom. Stops your hand slipping off. Then the grip and the cross. So this is the cross guard or Chapu. Cool. Well, it makes sense it's called a cross guard in this particular instance, doesn't it? Again, scale. If you're gonna add a detail like this, there's no point making it blend into or be reduced in stature to a massive empty space around it. There's some sort of design principle there, and I don't know what it is, but I'm very, very slowly learning it. This idea of like, and it's not a design principle, it's just a personal aesthetic choice, but this idea of like, I prefer a design that doesn't leave big empty spaces around tiny details, and instead take those details and make them chunky. Take those details and give them substantial weight in the sort of design space that it inhabits. So even this, for example, I would probably be tempted to make this bigger. Just have that going up like that, and then these two down there at the side. Let's try that, see what it looks like. Now I want these to be a little shorter. In fact, that probably should be a little shorter anyway. This sword is probably going to have things chip off and whatever. It hasn't stopped Dark Souls or Elden Ring from making it overly ostentatious designs, has it? I like swords. Swords are good. There's a reason the design has lasted. I was watching a thing with the YouTube channel called Modern History, run by somebody who feels like he just wants to live in the Middle Ages, but is actually the CEO of Rebellion who makes Sniper Elite. You know those games? Just a random side thing he does is pretend to be from the Middle Ages. Yeah, good for him. But yeah, he's got this YouTube channel. He's just really interested in sort of the history of the time, largely military history, but he often goes into different things of like trying to make his own ink out of bits of oak trees and all that sort of stuff. It's just I like his enthusiasm. But one of the things he did was an experimental thing where he was like, there's a certain bias in our view of history based on what would be likely to make it to a museum. So that the things that were most useful probably didn't last, and the things that were less useful but more ornamental probably did last. And so they're sort of doing some experiments of like making weapons and things like that, and what would be like a really quick to make effective weapon that would probably not last. There probably wouldn't, there wouldn't be many surviving examples of that. And he came up with this sort of, I can only describe it as a machete as tall as him. And it was just this really cool, very simple, just huge knife. Great knife, let's call it. And he did this test. He had one of those like ballistic heads, apparently lying around from something else. He didn't know where it had come from or what was in it. He just hit it with this sword thing, going like, let's see how this compares to like a normal sword. And he was not expecting it to be as effective as it was, nor for there to be fake blood in the head. He was like, oh god. Well, this thing's deadly. So yeah, I like people who sort of test around with that. But it's just the thing he made, you can look at it and go, yeah, that would be like a really easy thing for somebody to make as a weapon. And a really effective thing for someone to make as a probably no finesse to its use, but nonetheless, it's seemingly effective. But it just didn't look anything like a sword, and I'm like, I've never seen something like that. That looks kind of cool. Sharpened pieces of metal are pretty dangerous, exactly. But it's had a lot of leverage. It was very long, and it was quite sort of top-heavy. So obviously that gives you a lot of momentum as well. This is why we know more about the history of metalwork and less about the history of fiber work. Yes, exactly. Why am I shading this? This is a sketch, right? Although I can shade things for basic indication of colour. My computer has decided to sound like it wants to take off again. Should probably fork out for a new fan or whatever it is. Yeah, glad you shaded the sketches. It's fine, don't worry about it. Right, okay, so we have the basics of the design. Well, hang on, let's put, I want ear designs for these sort of wing things. Come up with a few fun designs for what the winged ears could be, and that could be a little sort of, you know, let's mess around, let's have a bit of fun. But for now, let's say that's what it is, and instead make ourselves, I like how squat they are. I was actually expecting, in my head I was expecting them to be sort of like quite tall and thin, and they ended up being quite the opposite. Actually, there's going to be a few things I'm going to change slightly. Thickness of the arm I think needs to be more substantial. Few proportions not quite being there, same with the wrist here. We can still make these all fluty, it's fine. That feels more substantial, fits a bit more with what's going on with the legs. Chonky lad. They're pretty short, yeah. Please render the sketch in perfect detail before you paint it. Fit some more. Yeah. Oh, I was about to go in and do more shading. Okay, right, cool. Let's now do the rough painting of them in their full glory. So I'll grab the sketch, create new from clipboard. Give the sword a bit of space. Oops. Give the entire drawing a bit of space. Something like that. Don't need too much detail because it's just going to be the basis for the main drawing. It's just a lot of empty space in this picture. Who's this Paladin of? Yeah, this is for the ICO. If you recall, I did a video. Doobity-doo, skibbity-bop-bap-a-doo. No, don't play the video. Well, I mean, I can. Did a video where I designed a boss, the 4 handmaidens. There they are. Well, that's the first phase. And then second phase. Third phase, that's my favorite. And fourth phase, that's my second favorite. Yeah, that's for a game that's in my head, and it has been in my head for somewhere between 5 and 7 years. And when I was making a little randomizer for the ideas of things that I've said I wanted to draw at some point but never got round to, I decided to add these. And wouldn't you know, one of them came up and people actually seemed to be interested in the design. So we're doing another one because it was, and we randomly chose the Paladin, the idiot do-gooder who wants to smite the evil, which includes the main party, who aren't evil but they look it. Yeah, just a Paladin doing good, and in the process really hindering the good work of the main main characters. They are a comic relief boss. Again, I kind of find it quite fun that this sort of grim fantasy world. The second thing I'm making in it is a comic relief thing. Let's squidge some of these things around because they're still quite right. I think there's only one more comic relief thing in the list, and that's a group of friendly plunderers. You're doing great. I mean, you're not. You're really causing problems, but you're doing great. So their eyes are a bit wonky now that I see him around this way. Always flip your art. Okay, we can deal with it. Let's make this slightly bigger. Bit more space on the page. Let's make sure this is a decent size. Putting it a little bit bigger. And give it a save. Whoop. Go, shut that off. And record ourselves a little time lapse. Which is use the liquify tool like it's easy. If you nudge for long enough, you kind of get the hang of it. Probably very far behind in stream. You refresh several times, it's not helping. Oh no! Oh Nabis! Love you. Right, so. Color to paint against, so I have to multiply so I can actually see it. And let's get our dark grey and our light grey. And wherever my brush is that I like. Other one. Hang on, I've forgotten where my brush is. They're all in Japanese, I don't know what they're called. One of these. I'll know it when I use it. I think it might be that one. Yeah. Let's reset this time lapse. So we don't have all those scribbles at the beginning. Twitch is on one tonight. Grumpy. Grumpy Twitch. I can rename the brushes. Hang on, let me rename this one. Oh, it's called something weird, isn't it? Subtool settings, yes. This is what it's called. If anyone wants to translate. There we go. Right, let's block stuff out. It's underneath the multiply so I can keep track of what I'm doing. Yes, you can rename brushes in Clip Studio. It's just not called rename. It's called. You have to go into the brush settings, change brush settings, after right-clicking on it, and that's where you find. All that stuff. We'll get to the details of that later. For now, though, let's just block out color. Just want to chill with friends, friend or not? Why'd you have to be like this? Oh no. Get to watch Nicolas Cage's Dracula over and over in the trailers. Yee, is that film coming out? It looked kind of fun. Miss, are you making the Duolingo owl sad again? How dare you? Can't remember how these line up. I'll sort it out later. Right. Yeah. I mean, what I should probably do is, before I go any further with this, and I did start a time lapse. Yes, I did. Good. Forgotten to do time lapses too many times. Lapses. Should block this out in a solid colour so that I don't end up with any weird transparency things. Then just sort of work it out from there. Just putting the cheese tax song into everyone's brains. I know. Well, I've been threatened with it after stream. Because obviously I don't know what it is. What is this weird interwebs things your kids use with your Tic Tacs? Again, this doesn't have to be precise, it just has to be solid. As long as it is all that matters. Gotta pay the tax. Jeez. From it. I got an ad on Tumblr recently, and I feel like this is directly targeting me. Which was, somebody set a poll on Tumblr asking, hey, which brand of tea do you think Wallace and Gromit drink? Like Tetley, Yorkshire tea, etc., etc. And I feel like these targeted ads are getting too strong. There's British poll ever. I need to find it actually, see what the results are. I'm guessing the answer's Yorkshire tea, but it might be Tetley, I don't know. One of the two, I think. Yorkshire tea, definitely. Yeah. Tension. Didn't they do an ad with Tea Company once? You remember your dad collecting figurines of the tea? Taifu! Now, as we know, just because you've done an advert for them doesn't mean you would use their product. So, not going to assume that's an indicator. I also don't see Wallace and Gromit going to DFS, but I think they did adverts for them. There's a problem. It's on the left. There it is. There's a thing in computer science about optimizing out certain algorithms. And one of the things you might want to optimize is how to find something in an ordered list. Or see if something exists in an ordered list. So you have a series of numbers and you're like, okay, do we have the number 37 in there? In various ways of doing that as efficiently as possible. And one of them is by bifurcation, which is pretty quick. And bifurcation is very simply, you look in the middle and go, right, is that what we're looking for? If not, is it smaller than what we're looking for? And if it is smaller than what we're looking for, then we can ignore the first half of the list entirely and just focus on the next half because we know it's in order. So we can just go to look all the numbers bigger than that because the number we're looking for is bigger than the middle. Or if it's obviously bigger than what we're looking for, we look at the smaller half of it. And then you do exactly the same with that half. You look halfway through that and go, is that the number? And you cut that in half, and then you cut that in half, and so on and so forth until you eventually find the answer. It's a very quick way of solving this sort of thing. And I use it all the time when doing art because, as you see there was a hole in my lines and I wanted to find where the hole was. So I cut it in half and filled each half to see whether or not there was still a hole. I was like, okay, it's on the left of this. Cut that in half. Is it on the left or right? So on and so forth. Bifurcation search, but with holes in art. I'm now going to do something this, but with this, because I know that's not going to be good. I'll sort out the majority of this, that's fine. It's the stuff in the middle that's the problem. Look at that. Look at this. Absolute disaster. The fluff's not so bad because it's fluff. I'll probably soften it up a bit manually anyway. Okay, generally I think we're good. Wish Duolingo would stop giving you street names that are city names. Huh? Yes, you know, Cal means streets. No, it doesn't help when you are talking in rapid Spanish about La Cala Madrid. I mean, that makes sense. We have a lot of, like, streets are named after the city that they lead to, right? So there's a lot of London roads in southeast England. And things like that. But, Hotels has the Leon cut. Nice. But does it have the Luis cut? That's a reasonable response, Cheap. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Right. Now we have that, we can start adding stuff. Just to make sure. Saturation. Lock things. Let's get roughly smoozling. That's a word. That's not what I want. Doesn't matter how rough it is, so long as every successive stroke gets me closer to the final value. Yeah. And we're done. Hope you like it. Going to exercise where it's writing, but you have to use certain words. Writing, but you have to use certain words. Oh, the thing where you just there's just a bunch of words at the bottom and you tap them in order. No? I think your Duolingo is much more advanced than mine. There's a lot more interesting things going on in yours. You're all snuggly in bed. Made a screenshot. Yeah, share. Share the pain. Oh, write a sentence that includes these words. Casa, Leostel, and Aeropuerto. Bet I can work out what that one means. You've got so many more things in your course than mine. Make a sentence with those words. I am currently learning Spanish, and some of the words I have learned include Casa, Leostel, and Aeropuerto. You're welcome. Sounded both Japanese and Spanish just because of my terrible pronunciation. I'm going to apologize in advance for my accent next Tuesday because it's just going to be that dark. I think the helmet's metal is going to be quite bright. What's good? What? Who? Got peppermint oil under your eyes? Oh no! Oh no. So you didn't have any on your fingertips, but you guess you had a tiny, tiny bit. That's all you need, and your eyes go, oh no! It's really nice though, not on the eyes, but on your nerve and arthritis plate. Well, I'm glad it can be useful where appropriate. Again, we'll come up with some various designs for these wing things. Wing ears. Ear wings. Ping wings. Now just sort of get the gist down. Ishumalana, alright. Shouldn't really be doing this now. This feels like something I should be doing over the top of everything else. But... Flew! Lovely the brushstrokes. Yeah. An absolute banger from Louis. Okay. I have no real idea of the values of this armor, so we're just gonna work it out as we go along. I'm imagining it's quite bright. Imagining basically everything on this is gonna be quite bright, but you've got to have some contrast somewhere, right? So. You learned something useful again, yeah! In these silly directions and places and stuff. You learned El Pastel, which is cake. Most important. Just walk into Spain and go, El Pastel! Now! Do I know cake? I don't know cake. What's cake in Dutch? El chocolate. Ah, that means sugar. Oh, chocolate. Ah, I was close. Cake in Japanese is that. Probably keiku, if I had to guess. Given the fact that it's in katakana and there's an extension in the middle. So now, with all you've learned to say, you can say, Yo quiero el pastel de chocolate. Give me a chocolate cake now. I want chocolate cake. Now. In Dutch, you get pretty far with cake, also tart, depending on the type. Cake is pretty much reserved for the type that you make in those loaf pans. Tart is for the round ones. Oh, interesting. And Bly? More for pie-like ones. That's interesting. Over here, a cake is like generally sort of anything made with sort of flour that rises, is sweet, whatever. And a tart is like pastry case with some sort of filling. So, interesting. But also then you get outliers like what is cheesecake? It's not really cake, is it? It's just closer to a tart, but it doesn't have a pastry base. It has a biscuit base. Sort of an imposter in the cake category, but a welcome one as far as I'm concerned. That needs to go. What's going on with the sketch here? Nothing! Guess you're gonna have to bring you what's the English word for a baker that specializes in pastry cake dessert making? Patisserie? Yeah, that's pretty closest. I'd just say baker, to be honest. Bring you to one of those when you can point out the difference between them. We can eat lots of cake, yes. Also, apparently I have to bring licorice so that we can compare. And I'll get a lot of weird looks in customs. Why are you bringing licorice into the Netherlands? For science! This is getting somewhere. What's going on here? That's just more fluff. Okay. Licorice good. Most bakers here, at least in the south, also sell Vlei. If you're gonna want good ones or lots of choice, you're gonna have to go to a Banketbakker. Banketbakker. A small sofa baker. Like banquet? Yeah, I was assuming so, yeah. His hands are drawing, having you cross-eyed so you can't go on with the draw. Oh no, hands! Mortal enemy of artists. The world over. But breaks are good, breaks are important. That will presumably at some point look good. You gonna follow this maybe? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was getting it. Normally you'd agree, but in this case you wanna. This is coming along alright, I think. Deep shadows. They'll be even deeper when I actually bring out the black. Because at the moment I'm just working with a dark grey and a light grey. Because I have no self-control. So if I just don't give myself the option to use the extreme values, then I can save them for when I need them. That's what you do too, E. Yes. And yet you lighten the whole drawing several times throughout. Oh yeah, there's only so much you can do. You can try and curve your instincts, but hey, you can lighten the drawing, right? What kind of armor am I channeling in this? This was one of the discussions of like when I started this, is like I really should look up what armor is, because I know basically nothing. Just sort of muddle through. I think we started with like Solaire-esque helm and lots of floof, and that was basically where we went from there. Over the top, a lot of cross motif, a lot of floof. Big chunky. Last during lingo lesson today, because you got excited over learning something new, you learned the verb to draw. It's dibujar. I don't know how you pronounce the J's in Spanish. But hooray for learning new things. Very similar to the Dutch ch. So dibuja, I guess. Again, I apologize for my pronunciation. I should learn the phrase I apologize for my pronunciation for the stream, because I feel like I'm gonna need it. Pretty close? Nice. Twitch isn't showing all of the chat again. Oh, for God's sake. Twitch! Be nice to friends who just want to use your service. They're already watching the ads. They do the thing you want them to do. Now you do the thing they want you to do. It's only fair. Provide the service you claim to provide. Quite literally the least you could do. Function. You know? I don't know if that got picked up on the microphone, but my stomach just made the longest noise it's ever made in my life. Are you alright? Didn't hear it? Weird. It's fun. Nothing unusual's happened today, stomach. We had spaghetti, that's pretty normal. Cheese sandwich. Wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for you. Yes, I need more cheese sandwiches. Gotta go for a few minutes. Back in a bit. If you missed the end of the stream, hope you'll have a good night. I hope you have a good whatever you're gonna do. And I probably will end in a bit, actually, but see this through, at least. Oh yeah, I was doing this. Just remembered why I was over in this part of the canvas. Handy occasionally to remember what you're doing. Hello! Do I just love rendering fur or hair because I do it a lot? Not a bad thing, I do it very well. I wouldn't say I love it. It's kind of therapeutic because it's just lots of sort of random scratches and then hopefully it looks good. Floof is fun. It's kind of silly if you want to make something silly, you know? I don't seek it out as a thing to do, but if I'm not on a deadline, I'm not going to be upset. If I am on a deadline, I'm like, oh god. Curious because rendering hair fur painting is the bane of your existence. Looks nice. Thank you. I don't know how I'm doing it. If there's any consolation, I just do it. This is the problem. I always keep saying, oh, I'm going to make tutorials and teach people how the things what I've learned because sharing knowledge is fun. And then I realize I don't actually know what I do. Just sort of do. Hopefully, if anyone wants to glean information about what I do, you can learn something from what I'm doing now, like the streams. I do want to do more tutorial-y things. But, you know, time. As bloody always. It's that monster time again. Save it when you did the little torso tutorial, which was very interesting, by the way. I have made tutorials, but doesn't mean I'm confident in doing them. What do I actually say / explain? I just do it. Yeah. A lot of arties feel, annoyingly. But if you can try and explain the way you got to get the feel you do, that's handy. It's never nice when, you know, if somebody asks, how do you do this? And the answer is practice. There's never a good answer. It's the right answer, but it's never a good one. You always want to say something more interesting or more, I don't know, like there's some sort of secret or some sort of special technique, but it's do the thing. Still don't know if you actually explained everything. It doesn't matter if you explained everything. I wouldn't worry about not explaining everything because, I mean, A, you don't know everything. Nobody knows everything about any given subject. There's always something you're not going to know, or you're going to learn 2 weeks after you think you've explained everything to someone. Oh, anything. Oh, yeah, you absolutely explain stuff. Like I said, it was interesting. I learned things.
Behold my special technique. Practice.
Practice, as my old nan used to say, practice makes perfect. Which is in and of itself a bit of a misnomer because it doesn't make perfect. Nothing makes perfect, but it can approach perfect. It's a limit. Not an equality. Still looks pretty darn wonky, doesn't it? Bring in a bit more metal. Get those sort of back shines and all that fun stuff, weird reflections. Love that anime. Oh no, he played the practice card. I'm probably going to leave it there for now. But if you want to see more of this, tune in presumably tomorrow morning. As I will continue. During chill morning stream. Yeah, and then hopefully we can free up these streams to do something more structured, like draw-throughs or other bits and bobsels. But yeah, we're making progress. This is getting somewhere. Paladin is coming to life. Still much to do, but this is the problem. I always go like, let's make this look like metal, and then I zoom out and I'm like, oh yeah, everything else is a blob. It's fine, it's fine. Please look at Croissant Foot. Croissant Foot. Yum. I thought pointy shoes felt appropriate for this character. Croissants are nice. They are. Can recommend. With some cheese and or butter. Which, given that they're made with butter, is probably not the healthy option. But hey, you're having a croissant. You're not here for the healthy option. Paladin of the Great Pine Tree God. Pine Tree? Pine cones? Croissants with jam. I've never had one with jam. and give it a go one day. Why not? Yeah. I'm gonna... Chocolate croissants. Is that different from a pan au chocolat? I guess it probably is. A spiky pine cone on his shield and sword. Oh, okay, I just sort of did that as a kind of feathery floral flourish. But I guess it could be piney. Feathery floral flourish. If ever I have to do a little, like, sort of floral... What's the word? Not motif. Whatever. Oh, it was there. Oh, there's a D involved. No, it's gone. If ever I have to do a little, like on wallpaper or fancy fabric or something like that, a little, yeah, decoration, yeah, something like that. If ever I have to do that, I just, that's the shape I do all the time. Because that's just sort of a bastardized fleur-de-lis, or a simplified fleur-de-lis at the very least. But yes, that was the stream. I will be back tomorrow morning with more of this. I still haven't sorted out this morning stream intro yet, but I'll do something. Maybe one of the streams will be that. To make you hungry. Best pan au chocolat you've ever had was in Athens. It was so nice and warm and the chocolate was still melted on the inside, and you've never had a better one since. Arr. I was thinking, we went to a pub. I've gone out for family meals to pubs several times in the last couple of months. And a couple of times I've had burgers. And they make these fancy burgers with all these weird bits and bobs. When I say pubs, they're pubs that have been done up and have, gotten people who can actually cook in the kitchen and have ideas on how to do cuisine and all that sort of stuff. And you get these fancy burgers. And you're like, I'm going to look forward to having weird burgers. And still haven't had one as good as in the gaming cafe in London. That was still the best burger I've ever had. And I'm very much looking forward to going back there one day, just for the burger. This is a good time. There's a good time with friends and the best burger. So maybe it's the friends. Maybe the friends make the burger. Maybe the burger was the friends we made along the way. Someone else book the Airbnb next time. A bigger one, yes. Where we can all be comf. But it was nice. So thank you again. Thank you very much for inviting us. It was very kind of you. Cafe was good. You enjoyed losing exactly when we needed it. Go back, you get churros, I get burger. Yes. The churros did look nice. I didn't know what they were, but they look good. And they just sort of like sugary fried batter or something. You gave me a churro? I remember having it, but I don't remember what it was. I remember you giving me one, or a bit of one at least. You're a bad villain. You do good. A good villain loses, right? They know what's good for the narrative. They know what's good for the story. And winning, that's not it. That's selfish. Fried dough with sugar, very nice. I mean, there's nothing about that sentence sounds not nice, so. Oh yeah, with hot chocolate as well, yeah. Do vegan and gluten-free? I don't know, probably. Am I gonna look this up? Anyone remember what it was called? Oh, Drafts. I think it was called Drafts. That rings a bell. Drafts, yeah. I don't care about your games. Tell me about your food. Food and drinks. Food menu. What have we got? Yeah, there's some vegetarian and vegan things. What do we got here? Got a lot of tacos. They're all gluten free. And quite a few of them are vegan. Korean fried chicken is vegan. You can have it with cauliflower instead of chicken. Oh, Beyond Cheeseburger. Churros are vegan. Not a lot of gluten-free stuff, it must be said. The tacos, basically. And nachos as well. Which honestly sounds good, so... Oh, they also have an allergens menu. Which explains everything that's on it, which is quite nice. Oh, menu in Discord, nice. Yeah, see? Anyway, can recommend that place. It was very nice. Very good food, lovely people. Good games with friends. But yes, sorry. So, stream is going to end, and there'll be a new one tomorrow morning. And then there'll be another one tomorrow evening with Jeeb over on the Chibi Netherlands channel. Tune in. It'll be presumably Borderlands. More Borderlands to be continued in 4 seconds. Yummy vegan burger sounds dream. Yeah. I've been having a lot of vegetarian burgers, like alternatives. The ones that both the ones that try to be meat and the ones that are just like, here's some vegetables in breadcrumbs. And honestly, I'm starting to think they're better than actual burgers. I've never really been a huge meat fan anyway, but yeah, something about these people actually really properly trying to make something good, as opposed to meat, which is like, it's gonna be good regardless. So I think Cheap should do the Resident Evil 4 dating sim. Maybe. So yeah, that'll be tomorrow, and then Friday will be standard things, Patreon hangout in the afternoon, maybe the morning as well. We might get back to that. And then on Saturday we have probably also another morning stream, maybe. We'll see how that goes. Followed by... That's not the thing. Where is the thing? There it is. Haha! Solero! The continued adventures of the team of friends who definitely want to be together. And yee. Stuff. Solero. Yeah, it's a thing, and I hope you enjoy the thing. And by thing, I mean various things that I think I have explained relatively well. A bit of a reminder that next Tuesday there will not be Hitman 2, there will be special birthday stream with Jeeb, playing Portal 2 in Dutch. Check the menu for that place, and there was a gluten-free vegan churros option. Ooh, that sounds good. Num num num. We must go there. Bathmas, Cheeb, portals, scratching heads as I try and explain. I'm trying to learn phrases that I think will be useful. Like ich bin geprobeerd. That's probably wrong. I've only just learned the past tense, so it's gonna be hard. I haven't learned the future tense, so we're not gonna do anything. We're going to either be doing or have done something. There, no there, over there, that one portal. Da, nee da. Over da. Dat een. Portaal. Herhaal dat. What does that mean? Repeat that, okay. We were like watching infants play Portal. I explained this to Jeeb of like, okay, you need to get your... if you're going to try and communicate these ideas, you have to pretend you are talking to a toddler. Because my vocabulary is very small. And yeah. Hopefully with the problem-solving skills of an adult, but nonetheless. But yeah, currently they're teaching me some very important things, like various shopping paraphernalia. We'll find out next week whether or not we want to do it for more than one stream. But anyway, yes, that's the thing. It's a whole thing. I'll stop that music and start up some other music to end. Shopping what? Yeah, things like Winkelwache and one of them was clothing department, and I've forgotten what it is. Because why would I remember clothing department specifically? I mean, it's literally like clothes and department, but I can't remember the word for department. Ab something? I can't remember. Atlas with child leash for Peabody, yeah. Problem-solving skills of an algebraist, exactly. Afdeling, yes, that's department. But it was all one word? I don't think it was Kleding Afdeling. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, this is all very important information. Cleared an Afdeling? Maybe. Might have been cleared an Afdeling. That sounds about right. Another Danish-Dutch combo word. There's a lot of combo words I'm finding. In fact, actually, one of the ones I did recently was all about combo words. It's like, these verbs can be split into two. We won't tell you why or how. That's just made of all the combo words. Well, you're literally called Nederland, so can't complain, really. I'm going to shut up now. Have a wonderful time, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for chatting. Hope you had a lovely chill time, despite Twitch being Twitch. Yeah, and we'll be back with the things that I said 5 minutes ago. Look after yourselves, everybody. Have a good time. Goodbye. Bye.